I have the power by the power of Grayskull. Curse you, Canon Films! You ruined everything! I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil. I'm John Renton with the retro review of Masters of the Universe from 1987. Oh, where to start with this one? Probably at the beginning. That'd be a good start. This was rewritten and directed by Gary Goddard, who did the 1981 Tarzan movie. If you remember that, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. To be fair, Canon Films, go Google it, kids. You will understand why I'm not Canon Films in this. My goddamn goodness. This is available on Amazon as of now for free. So if you're a Prime member, you can watch stuff like this. I need to take this prop and put it elsewhere. My giant broom kind of looked positively perverted. Me holding massive wood up here that wouldn't get me flagged. So this was rewritten by Stephen Tolkien, not of the, J.R.R. fame, as well as written by David Ottle, who did The Dark Crystal. He did various Muppet stuff and also Supergirl. So he was kind of in tune with writing stuff that wasn't all that well received. Look, for those that love He-Man, you probably got a kick out of this. I loved the cartoon when I was a kid. Granted, I saw most of it in syndication, given the age that I am. I was born in 1981. But Skeletor, He-Man, and, Gwendoldor, and all that, and just various characters, and also, Fisto. I fisted them hard, He-Man, but I could not fist them all. God, the 80s were such a different time. So yeah, it featured Meathead Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. Look, bless him. I mean, bless Dolph. Nice guy, and he knew his role. He didn't shut his mouth. He was the whole I must break you thing, and just look at his filmography. He at least understands the assignment. He's not great, but he plays his role well. And he looked the part of He-Man. Looked incredible. Had that photogenic quality, like he just literally looked like an action figure. And they were going to dub his voice, and they decided not to. Let's just use his natural voice. And then they decided to use unnatural tones in this movie as far as comedic to whatever and everything, and trying to find entertainment with the way they were doing this particular thing. It's like sifting through a lot of bullshit in the writing room, and also just reeks of studio interference. Frank Langella, who is a terrific actor, and he apparently loved playing Skeletor, and you could tell he was just biting into this role, chewing the goddamn scenery. And he has said in interviews that he would love to, I believe he said he'd love to make a cameo. Dolph also said he'd love to make a cameo. And Frank Langella is, a very, very accomplished actor. And we have Evelyn, or Evelyn, as it were, played by Meg Foster, who could absolutely have gotten the truth out of me in 1987. I mean, if I was the age I am now in 87. Because I would have been 6 at that point. That would have been very awkward. And then good old Billy B., who was in Legend and various things, and starred as Mickey Rooney's literal little brother. He lived to be 76, so at least it wasn't a short life for him. I'm sorry. May he rest in peace. They probably got a little, personal-sized pan pizza casket for him. I'm sorry. This is a serious review about an action figure come to life. Courtney Cox was in this. At one point, Courtney Cox as Julie is talking to another waitress that's named Monica. Oh, I get it. They foresaw the future. And also Kevin. At one point, the fate of the world lies in the hands of a man named Kevin. Robert Duncan McNeil. Sounds like a name way too snooty to be involved in this. He-Man battles Skeletor for Castle Grayskull, the freedom of Eternia, as well as the freedom of a white sorceress. It's not good. It's not good at all. I will take this over stuff like Howard the Duck as far as the fantasy mixing with like Planet Earth, motif. I will take this over stuff like that. I'll take this over the later Superman sequels, like Superman 3 and Superman 4, where everybody got on the floor and did the goddamn dinosaur. And bless Dolph. Bless him. He knew what his he knew his limitations. But the thing is so much of this film just was wasted potential. Mattel did not even want He-Man to kill actual humans in this, which is why they had all the robots. And I get it to an extent. They had the lasers, G.I. Joe. I mean, I know that was Hasbro, but still. Meg's costume apparently gave her issues because it weighed so goddamn much. Canon Films had financial issues to the point that the ending actually had to be filmed sometime later. The budget was increased from $16.8 million, which would be $47.6 million in today's dollars, to $22 million, which would be $62.3 million. The film opened with $4.8 million, which isn't bad, and that would be $13.6 million in today's money, but it only ended up with $17.3, which would be $49 million. So the planned sequel and Frank Langella showing up out of whatever acid pit it was to say, I'll be back. No, he won't. No, he won't. The Superman-style opening credits were certainly a choice. Makes sense for Canon Films. Frank sinking his Skeletor teeth into this, and Dolph, just do meathead stuff. Just do meathead stuff. And then a little dwarf. And the little dwarf is what? Gwildor. And I mean, short people got no reason to live. That's a Randy Newman song before any of the short people get up on their high chairs and get up on their keyboards and try to type at me. And there's this cosmic key. It can take you anywhere. So they take him to like one of the most dilapidated parts of Earth. These action scenes with the guns and the sword fighting, they're not good. I mean, they weren't good even in 87. The stuff in Lady Hawk was better. I mean, that's unfair to Lady Hawk, but you get the point. This is also the same year Princess Bride came out. And I understand it's supposed to just be fun. And there is fun to be had in this, but the tone is all over the fucking map. And so many characters are just so useless. And there's a whole good journey, goodbye, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, or however the hell you say it. And Kevin is Julie's boyfriend with weird feathered hair, both of them, that is. There is a point with a bucket of chicken, being brought over by a grappling hook, so Man-at-Arms and the various others can eat. Julie lost her parents in a plane crash. She went to visit her parents' grave site and wants to possibly change things. She wished she could just go back to the way it was before. More on that in a bit. So Julie and Kevin find the key, the cosmic key. There's this weird musical notes that can be played. Kevin is somebody that knows all about music. He takes it to his friend that has a weird pawn shop, music shop thing. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone shop. And Frank and Skeletor doesn't really show up all that much until the last 30 or so minutes. Maybe the last 40 minutes. The tone was messy at best. I mean, you had the stuff with a cop involved, the detective, James Tolkien, who, again, not a bad actor, actually. I call him Discount Donald Pleasance because of how he looked, but He-Man rescues Julie after she's pursued, after everything in this gymnasium catches on fire. I mean, I'm sorry, but just some of this stuff, it's okay, it reeks of we don't know what we're doing, and you could tell the rewrites hurt this movie. And I'm not saying that it should have taken place all on Grayskull. You could have it mixed, but none of this with these characters and these components was gelling enough to where it was anything other than, wow, this really could have been good, cheesy fun. Instead, it was only occasional cheesy fun. Now, I am looking forward to the new one, despite the fact Jared fucking Leto is in it. It seems like they might have captured the tone. It might be like the Dungeons & Dragons 2023 surprise. This tone sucks, is what I noted. Meg Foster, at one point, gets the truth out of Kevin. She could have gotten anything out of me at that point. I wonder if Burger King paid for advertisement in this. Because there's a lingering shot of Burger King in a sink. The stuff being thrown away, whatever it was. and blow up everything, He-Man. Just blow up everything. At one point, the dwarf is driving Christine. I don't know why we need to have that. Julie gets fooled by Evelyn playing her, or Evelyn playing her mother. So she gets the key. Skeletor and his robot minions, Centaurians, come to Earth. And Julie gets shot in the leg at one point, so it's starting to get infected. But somehow she's okay. So we call it the Carrie Von Erich method, as it were. And Skeletor is now on Earth. We have about 40 minutes left. And there's a point where Dolph is trying to save everybody and get the key. And at one point, opening the door, this gate just starts falling on him. It's so funny. Like, we couldn't have done a retake. We couldn't have moved the gate. Why was it there? It wasn't attached to the door frame, but it's a metaphor for this production because stuff was just falling apart. So, at one point, He-Man gets on a hoverboard. It's a skater board. He's a skater boy. He says, "See you later, boy." He's got to go get that cosmic key. And all this, by the way, is done while Skeletor is sucking the life out of the White Sorceress. That's right. Frank Langella's Skeletor is sucking off the White Sorceress. You're welcome for that. Don't ask me how that works anatomically. So Frank finally shows back up. We get some questionable acting and action going on here. And He-Man, join me, or your friends will not live to see another day. So he does go back to Grayskull, despite the fact that he could have probably taken over Earth with these, because these people are kind of idiots and we all kind of suck. They go back to Grayskull, and the cosmic key is destroyed. But Kevin remembers the tones and remembers the stuff, and finally is able to play it, and somehow they're able to get back to Grayskull to not only save He-Man, but save Julie's leg. So then Frank Langella gets the all-seeing eye with the moonrise, and he feels a bad moon horizon. And getting all, and turns into Goldar. I guess that's where they got that inspiration. Power Rangers, I mean, because I think this movie came out before the original Power Ranger. I could be wrong. But it just... Why were there weird brick walls that looked like they were going to run down town in Grayskull? I just don't understand. And everybody's there, by the way. The detective, all this stuff, it feels like this movie had about 20 or so minutes added off of it, which means it would have been almost excruciating at 2 hours. So, yeah, the White Sorceress is nearly being sucked off and sucked dry. And we get, boom, boom, we get a sword fight. Skeletor ends up falling to his death pretty easily. So great job, promoting Frank Langella properly. Detective Lubbock decides to just either stay there because he enjoys the fact that there's this beautiful blonde that's with him, and the White Sorceress hands Julie a ring. They go back, and Julie's parents are alive because they went back in time. Went back in time. And she gets the keys and gets her parents to not go on the plane so they don't crash. So I guess everything's okay, but they probably missed out on a big payday. Good job, Julie. You're going to have problems understanding how house payments work. And Kevin says, yeah, we were there, and it's fine and great. And then we go through the credits. Skeletor pops up, says, I'll be back. Yeah, no, you won't. No, you won't. Frank Langella will, but Skeletor will not be back in Masters of the Universe 2, Electric Grayskull Boogaloo. Yeah, this film had issues. It isn't the worst, but it definitely was a lot of wasted potential. I do look forward to the new one, and I do want to say right here at the end, some retro reviews that I am planning to do. And I may do them all in video form. I may just do them on Letterboxd. It just depends how I feel. The Resident Evil movies, because the new Resident Evil is coming out in, I think it's September. So I got time. I had time. Time enough at last. If only this movie had time enough to make a lasting impression that was actually good. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Until we revisit Eternia once again, happy trails to...